Everybody, I want to share with you real quick from the book of Matthew, chapter 8. And here's the story. Jesus Christ had been going about his ministry on the shores of the Sea of Galilee, which is a large body of water in the northern part of Israel. After preaching and teaching, he and his disciples decided they needed to get to the other side of the sea. So they all piled into a boat and set sail. Jesus decided to take a nap. I would too after preaching and teaching all day long. He curls up in the bow of the boat and falls asleep. Suddenly, a great storm arises. The winds are blowing on the Sea of Galilee, and the waves start crashing, and they curl up and they crash over the boat. The disciples naturally began to panic, going all sorts of crazy. They don't know what to do. They're going to drown. The waves, the weather, there are so many things going beyond their control that they just don't know what to do. And here's Jesus, sleeping in the bottom of the boat. So they go to him, they wake him, and they're like, Jesus, don't you care that we're going to die? Jesus, imagine being slightly grumpy that he's been woken up from his nap, gets up. Maybe he's not grumpy, maybe he's showing great compassion at this point. He gets up, and he calms the storm. The waters go to peace, the wind dies down, and the clouds disappear. Just like that. He turns to his disciples and says, "You of little faith." His disciples were lost between somewhere in awe and amazement and fear even. And they turned to one another and they asked, "Who is this man that even the wind and the waves obey him?" They'd been following him around for a long time at this point, and they were shocked and awed. Who is this man that even the wind and the waves obey him? Now, a popular interpretation, and not a bad interpretation of this text, is about Christ being with us in the middle of the storm. Him being there and being still God and in masterful control. What a wonderful interpretation. Especially for this present time that we are going through right now. That Jesus is with us in the storm. And that is very much so true. But brothers and sisters, there's something deeper in this text. A deeper meaning here. You see, the disciples were facing the storm, the elements, the forces of nature, which from the beginning of time, forces of nature, whether they be microscopic or as macroscopic as a hurricane, we have never been able to control. They have been beyond our means and forces to battle. We are helpless against the forces of nature. The Sea of Galilee is no exception. It's known for its violent storms. And this boat that Jesus and his disciples were on were just so unlucky to be caught in the midst of a force of nature, a violent storm. And the deeper meaning here is not that Christ is with us in the middle of the storm, which is true. It's a good interpretation, but there's a deeper meaning, and it can be found in the question that the disciples ask one another. Who is this man? The answer is simple. He is Jesus Christ, the maker of heaven and earth. His power knows no limits, even things that still attack us and we can't control, and we have no ability to stop, answers to his slightest command. Where we are powerless, God is powerful. And in this time, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, it is hope. It is Jesus Christ I choose to put my hope in. In this season of battling against a force of nature, I choose to put my hope in Jesus Christ. Not because he's with me in the middle of the storm. That's a comfort. But because he is God. He is the all-powerful, almighty God, and he is in control. And I ask you, brothers and sisters, to not lose hope. Not lose hope, but turn to Christ, the one who is the master of all things. And we should be praying to him, placing our hope in him and no other. He is God, he is King, and he is still very much in control.